hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Real Estate Sales Summit. You know, this is going to be fun and very unique. We have with us a special guest speaker today, Audrey Lollis. And Audrey is a master level life coach. She's been 15 years in the mortgage lending industry, and she has a really unique niche, which I think is going to be amazing and phenomenal for this. She specializes in coaching female agents. And I personally don't know anyone else that does that. So this is going to be fun. So welcome to Real Estate Sales Summit, Audrey.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me. Very excited.
Absolutely. Honored that you said yes. So thank you.
Yes.
So Audrey, just so people can get to know you a little bit and a little bit about your background, where you came from, how you got into mortgage, real estate industry, and how you got into the coaching. Give us your history, your story.
Okay. Well, I have been a professional salesperson since 1996, which means I've been on 100% commission sales since 1996. I'm very proud of that. So I have a lot of experience in creating an income for myself. I started in insurance sales and was in insurance for about 7 years. And then I merged into mortgages when the company that I worked for had changed their comp plan, the insurance. So I had some friends in banking. I was a teller in 1990 and through college, so I had some connections. And in 2002, I became a mortgage banker. I worked for a couple of big banking institutions, all which have now failed. I won't mention any names.
You know, there should be some more of those that fail, actually, but you know,
yeah, that's funny. But so I've been very successful in my sales career. Okay, but your question about life coaching and how I ended up learning about life coaching. So I have been sales coached, most of my career through sales manager, being a sales manager, having a sales coach. And even though I was very successful, meeting my goals, being recognized, I still felt like something was missing. And I had problems in my life. Not so much with self-esteem, but I had stories that I was running in the background that had to do with fear of being homeless, which is just kind of funny, right? But just things that were programmed into me from my upbringing. So this fear was like kind of pushing me to reach all these goals, but I really there was something missing for me. And I also had other issues like drinking too much, binge eating on occasion, finding abusive or unloving, being in unloving relationships.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't figure out what was going on. So with my sales coach, I thought, well, maybe I'll just be a coach. Maybe that will help me. And so I found a school online called the Life Coach School. And that's where I learned life coaching. And I basically learned how to fix all of the problems I had and basically become a happier person, a more well-rounded person, a person that could appreciate all of the accomplishments that I was making happen in my life versus trying to chase something to try to tell me that I was okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes sense, but ever since I found life coaching and I basically worked on all of my stories and my thinking, which actually creates our feelings, our actions, and results. Now I have a happy relationship, a better relationship with my children, my mom, my brother and sister, and the people I work with are a lot happier too.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So interesting. Can we stay on this subject for a few minutes? Because I think it's way, way overlooked, and this is not one of our questions.
Okay, yeah.
Real estate is an interesting, and I kind of put real estate and mortgage together because it is the same industry. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
but it's a very stressful industry. There's a lot of misperceptions about it. There's a lot of challenges in it to do that. So as you're going through that, I mean, what are the big things? Because there, for example, my board has 7,000 agents, and I know a lot of people think, there's a bunch of competition here. How do I compete? I can't compete with that. That's a mental thing, right?
Yes, of course. Yes, it is.
So how do
And
they get over that?
okay, so what I help clients do is basically we have stories in our heads that we don't realize that we're running, and we have patterns that we run in our lives. And our brains do this to us because our brains are trying to be efficient. Okay, and so what I help my clients do is I help my clients by observing them so that I can kind of get an idea of what the patterns they're running, so that I can help them get out of those patterns and out of the stories and the thinking that they're saying to themselves, so that they can create a different, live in a different paradigm. Okay, so basically, a couple of things that you said about real estate being stressful. I mean, that is in itself a thought. It's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily the truth. Okay. And so that would be the first thing that I would address with someone that started saying that real estate is stressful, or that there's 7,000 agents and there's competition. I mean, you don't even have to focus on the competition. You can focus on the fact that you're going to help. How many people are you able to help? So I want to tell you one other story, and this really helped me because when I look back at the old paradigm I was living through, and the old patterns, I did have a lot of good mindset that created a lot of success for me. And one of the stories that helped me when I was as an insurance agent is, even though I was producing, I always felt like, what if I can't, I had a lot of thoughts like, what if I can't find the next deal? And, I had a lot of worry and stress. And I was sharing this with another agent, and she was so kind to give me this thought, which was, sometimes I have that thought that there's not enough. And then I look at all the cars on the road, and I think all those people need insurance. And when I think like that, then I'm like, well, I just need to find those people. And the same story is true for people that have houses. Like, look at all the people in the United States. Like, most of them don't want to be homeless. Most of them want to have a house.
Yep.
So how much opportunity is there to find those people and to get them into the house that they want, to help them achieve wealth, relationships, and health? Those are the three main things that we want to focus on. And so it's just shifting that mindset from a place of stress. And of course, that is our natural inclination, because our brain wants to tell us there's a problem and there's something wrong here. Negativity serves us because we needed to look for the problems when we were cave people and the tigers were going to eat us, right? So it's a matter of shifting those stories and that mindset and continually working on that for ourselves.
Interesting. So you're changing those thought patterns of what people are doing. Right. And what do you see as kind of the biggest challenges for a real estate agent when it comes, or mortgage agent as well, when it comes to really succeeding in the business?
Well, I think that what happens, or what I've seen it with my clients, is, they come in with a big idea and a big dream and a big story about being successful, and then they come up against obstacles, and they're not ready for those obstacles. And so it's a matter of being prepared for those obstacles ahead of time, so that they can overcome those obstacles. So that's what I work with with my clients. It's okay, what are the obstacles that are coming up, or what are the obstacles you have now? Because they seem very real to them, and they can't see a way out of them. Like, let's talk about some obstacles. I can't pay my bills.
That's a good
right?
one.
Yeah, I
Yep.
can't pay my bills. Yeah, an escrow just canceled, and I was relying on that escrow, to pay my mortgage. So these are real life obstacles that come up for realtors, and it's a matter of shifting that belief system in the moment to what is possible, and then also creating patterns and habits so that the next time that there is no next time for that, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yep.
So that's what I work on with my clients, is because it's all math.
Yeah.
And sometimes when and I don't know if I'm answering your question appropriately, but
Yeah.
sometimes when we're in this mindset, like this dreamer mindset and this belief mindset, but we're not also looking at the math, that creates a problem for us. So not only do we want the mindset, we also want to look at the facts and the figures so that we know if we have 8 transactions this year and we want 16 transactions next year, how many people did we have to talk to get the 8 transactions this year, so we know how many people we need to talk to next year to get 16. So those are all the things that I work on with my clients.
Nice. Very good. See, I love this subject because I think the mental part of it is such an overlooked piece. You don't see people talking and putting ads on, selling coaching programs that say, let me work on your mind. It's all, let's lead generate, let's lead convert, let's do this coolest new squirrel that's out there, and they start chasing it. So this is to me, this is probably one of the biggest, most important pieces of true success, is doing this.
Yeah, for sure. And it's something that's overlooked, and it takes time and work to work on your mind. So yeah.
So let's go there. Time and work to work on your mind. And I know we are way off of the questions.
Okay.
But this is I think this is an extremely important thing that no one else discusses.
Okay.
So a lot of value. But when you're talking about looking at those patterns, changing those patterns and starting on it, for somebody, where if they're going to sort of evaluate where they are now and where they need to be, where do they start?
Okay, so first of all, we want to start with our story. What are we telling ourselves? And the way to find out what you're telling yourself is you have to evaluate it and analyze it. And that can be done by asking yourself great questions, okay? So the question can be as simple as, what am I telling myself about the real estate industry right now? And then you're going to, well, what I do, because I can type really fast, is I close my eyes and I just type it out, right? I type, and I just it's called a brain dump, or a thought release. You just get it all out on paper.
Okay.
And then, or you can do this with a coach, okay? Because that's what I do, is I listen to someone tell me all their stories, and I'm going to pick and choose the thoughts that they're telling me that they actually, or what they see as true. And then once you have this, these thoughts on paper, you're going, and it's going to feel so uncomfortable because your thoughts seem so true. You're going to separate out the facts, okay? So what are actual facts? A fact is technology is, okay? That's a fact.
Yep.
Zillow is, that's a fact. Let's see, what else would be a fact? The loan limit is, whatever the fact is, or FHA does not allow peeling paint. That's a fact, right? So we have all these facts. And then we have our perception and our story about the facts, okay? And that's what we want to sort out, because our story, our perception is what creates our feelings, how we act, and our results, okay? And if we're not paying attention to what our brain is doing, so this whole idea of thought dumping is basically, it's for us to become aware of what our automatic reactions are and how they're making us feel, okay? And once we can become aware of that, we can start analyzing it and saying, okay, I have this story, and this story is creating this feeling for me. And when I feel like this, I act like a crazy person. Okay. And my results are I yell at people. I blame other people. I don't look at my own responsibility in how I can grow.
Yeah.
Okay. So those may be, your results. And so when you spend just a little time doing this, or you hire somebody to help you with this, and I want to mention one really important thing. It's really important that you become the believer that you are the creator of your experience.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Well,
So
they own their thoughts, right?
we own our thoughts,
Yeah.
yes. And I was going to mention this in the questions, but now we're talking so much about this. So
Yeah.
if I have goals,
Yep.
that is a circumstance. Okay. Goals, the number, whatever it is. I'm going to close 20 deals or whatever it is for the quarter. If I feel bad about my goals or I feel good about my goals, that is a thought. Nothing more than a thought that creates feelings for me. Okay. And how I know it's a thought is that the guy down the street, he doesn't care about my goals. His thought about my goals are, who gives a, rat's ass, right?
Yep.
I mean,
right.
So how I know that my thoughts create my feelings are the goal, the number is my, whatever that ends up being is my circumstance. And then my thought about it is the meaning I'm creating, which is creating my feelings, my actions, and results. Okay. And so this is the evaluation is, continuously looking at how you're creating how you feel in your life. And when you can do that, you can create any goal, any big goal you desire. And it never has to make you feel bad because you realize that you're the one that's making yourself feel bad because you didn't create that goal. So you can say, okay, I'm going to do, like, one of my goals is to make $5 million by the end of 2026. Yeah. I do not know how I'm going to do that yet. I'm hoping that this will propel me forward to that.
That's right.
But, let's say I make 4 million instead. It's my choice to feel bad that I didn't make 5 million. Does that make sense? So this is some of the work that we do is people stop making goals because they allow them to let those feel bad if they don't achieve them versus propelling themselves forward with their mindset about them.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't think, they think too big in the short term, but not big enough in the long term.
Yeah.
And so they think, oh gosh, I want to make $1 million this year, where that may or may not be good for that person. I mean, who knows? But they haven't thought, well, shoot, I'm going to make 5 million in 5 years, which is definitely doable.
Yes.
But yeah. So how much of our limiting beliefs when it comes to this start with how we're brought up? And for example, the money thing. I know that a lot of people, real estate is an unlimited opportunity. You can make millions of dollars. I mean, talked to Mike McCann the other day, 360 million in sales a year for the past 10 years, right? Some people are thinking, oh my gosh, how do I even get above 5 million in sales, right? Mm-hmm. But that's a limiting belief on their side, and some of it can come from where they came from prior.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so that's what the thought downloading does is you ask yourself these questions and you have access to, your brain basically. Mm-hmm. And you have access by putting it in this model, which is called CTFAR. So you have a circumstance, and the circumstance is a fact, okay, that can be proven in a court of law or something that mutual people agree on. And then you have your thinking about it. So the circumstance could be your ability to make money, your bank balance. And when I say ability to make money, I mean that real estate is unlimited. Yeah. Because that I believe is a fact. So anything that's a fact, and then you have your thought about it. Of course, your parents, your teachers, when you were young, you're thinking many of their thoughts and you don't even realize it. Okay, we are programmed, and we don't pay a lot of attention to that by the outside world. Okay, and not all of it is bad, right? but we have the ability to evaluate what we want to keep and what we don't want to keep. And I want to go back a little bit about, being realistic.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that you don't be realistic, but so you make a goal. And I mean, realism obviously is important, and math is important. I already mentioned that. But when you're talking about your goals, you can make your goal for $1 million, and you just have to figure out how to do it and figure out how to get over your limiting beliefs. And if you can do that, you can be at the level of Mike, right? Mike? Yeah. So hopefully that helps. But this thought downloading is very important to find out those limiting beliefs. And then evaluate whether or not you want to keep them.
Yeah. Well, and there's your key too, as well. It's wherever they are in their production and process, somebody has done what they want to do. So there's nothing that's unrealistic. It's just, are they willing to figure out the mental process and do what it takes to do it?
Yeah. So CTFAR is the model that I use. And you can find that on my Instagram and my Facebook. And, so when you're coaching people, I know we're not talking about people and about what you do, but I do want to ask you a question. I mean, you strategize with your clients. And so when you're strategizing with them, what percentage of people actually follow through on all the strategy that you have a track record of producing?
Yeah, great question. Well, I'm not sure about the actual percentage, but I can tell you that when we go through the process, we think about the someday process, we think about the 5-year process, the 1-year process, and then go put that down into figuring out what their main priority is for that year that's going to help them get to the 5 and the someday. What I find is that people that will not do that and bring it down into the most simplistic one thing, to take Gary Keller's book, The One Thing, if they will not do that, they will not succeed. But if they will put it into something as simplistic, and I do it, I still do it to this day. I come out with my one thing for the year that I'm going to accomplish that has three priorities and 5 strategies with each. And every single day I come up with, what am I going to do for this year? And it came to the point for you, and I had a class with somebody the other day, and he had lots of things. And he said, I want to go to this conference and this conference. And I started asking, well, why? Well, because that's the thing that, I'm going to learn that so I can know it for the future. Is that part of what your one thing is for now? Or could you spend those extra 3 days with your family? Anyway. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think that's part of the real estate thing. I think one of the most dangerous things are these conferences that have all kinds of people around them. Sometimes it's good, but when they have all kinds of things to buy around and they start chasing the squirrels, it's one of the most dangerous things in the world. Yeah.
I call it consumption, and it's something to just be, am I a consumer or am I a producer?
Yes, you got it.
That's a great question to ask to ask ourselves.
That is absolutely. It's an awesome question. So how do they, this is a trend as of getting to this point, and it's something that you've done. How does somebody actually follow up on this process to get in touch with you to start this mental process?
Okay, yeah. Well, I have a 15-minute decision call where I will, chat with someone to see if we're a fit, because it's very important to me that we're a fit. Most of the women that I help are stuck somehow. They have had some success and they feel stuck, and they want to get unstuck. Okay, and so the way they can reach me is through my decision call site, which is www.decided.me. or they can reach me on my website, which is www.audreylolliscoaching.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think? When you're talking to I'm going to go back. How did you decide to specialize in women, females?
Because of everything that I've gone through personally,
Mhm.
and also being experienced in being in, a sales job, and having that that understanding of what it takes to be successful. I have 3 daughters. I was a single mom for several years during the height of the mortgage boom back 2006 to 2004 to 2008. I was a single mom. And so I understand what it takes for women. It's unique for us because we have demands on us that, and when I say demands, there are our own demands that we create for ourselves based on what we say we have to do, but they're still there. And so I have a lot of compassion for women and helping them just create boundaries, create better stories for themselves, self-appreciate themselves, and basically stop buffering with things like alcohol, overeating, looking for attention from outside of themselves. And so those are the things that I help women with, that I understand, and can coach them on. So
Would
I hope
you
that
think
answers the
those are
question.
the biggest challenges for the women that you speak with?
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're trained, women are trained to seek external gratification.
Yeah.
And until we can learn that we are able to create that gratification within ourselves, for ourselves, no matter what, I'm telling you, women, no matter what, you get to create that for yourself, no matter where you're at. And once you learn how to do that, you're free. You're literally free. And so that is what I want to teach and share with women.
That's awesome.
I'm getting chills just talking about it. Yeah.
Well,
So,
it's you know, you're making a difference in people's lives, and a lot of people do the coaching thing. We talk about the money thing all the time, and so do the agents do, but it comes to a different point, and it's when an agent starts realizing the same thing, that they're changing people's lives just like you're doing that, then it becomes something that's truly worthwhile. So thank
yeah,
you very much for
of course.
sharing and doing this.
Yes, definitely.
Anything that you want to add? We didn't go over any of your questions, but anything you
Well, we kind of talked about technology, and I wanted to say something about that.
Yes.
And share something personal from my story. So back in 2008, when the mortgage meltdown happened, and I had a lot of my identity placed in being a top producer and my mortgage business. And when that meltdown happened, I had a lot of negativity that happened. And because of that negativity, I missed out on a lot of opportunity. Okay. That opportunity being that I did have savings, but I did not use my savings to buy property. Okay. And the people that did, they did not have negative thinking. They knew it was an opportunity. They took advantage of it. And so the same is here with technology. Okay. Like never before, technology is allowing us to brand ourselves. Okay. And brand ourselves for very inexpensively. All right. And so that's what I wanted to share, is just basically, if you're having negative thinking about technology, just stop it. Stop having negative thinking and start figuring out how it can assist you in building your brand and getting yourself out there. I have a little list here of like consistency wins, videos win, shameless bragging wins. Okay. It feels uncomfortable to have your picture on things and be on video all the time. But guess what? Your other realtors are doing it in front of your your network, because they're friends with friends of theirs and they're advertising to them. So you need to also be doing this. So those are some of the things that I help my clients with, is getting over the stories they have in their heads about confidence and being willing to put themselves out there in a bigger way. Okay, people want to see you. They want to get to know you. They want to have a relationship with you, even though they don't really have a relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if you do that, if you're willing to commit to that and feel uncomfortable in doing it because you're pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, then you will win with technology.
So where should they start on that? We'll stay there for a little bit. Where should they start on there?
I teach having a social media calendar,
Okay.
a schedule that you plan out a week ahead of time. And on that, you need someone to help you with graphics if you don't know how to do it. You need to have professional photos taken and get a logo done. And you're going to, if you don't have coming soon's, just listed, in escrow, sold, you're going to do quotes. You're going to do Tuesday tips, little video tips of giving value to your clients. You're going to do Facebook stories and Instagram stories of what you're doing in your day. If you're door knocking, if you're making calls, if you're hanging out with your dog, I don't care. You just want to get out in front of your clients. And you're also going to add people as friends to your Facebook. And you're going to become friends with them. You're going to send them little messages on Messenger and say hi to them and like their post. Okay? So these are just all ideas that I have and that I help my clients with.
So
I also have, go ahead, sorry.
So they're building a relationship, basically.
Yes.
And letting people get to know, like, and trust them.
Exactly. Like never before. And it's there. It doesn't cost anything. Yeah. I run a 5-day video boot camp for female real estate agents, and I haven't scheduled the next one yet. But what we do is we're amongst our peers, and we practice video for 5 days, including a Facebook Live. And that is created for women not only to meet each other, but also to help you build confidence on video and speaking, to the public.
Do their videos have to be perfect when they start doing this, Audrey?
No, they should not be perfect. We go for B+ work, okay? And that feels kind of strange for anyone that might be a perfectionist, but yeah, we want to go for B+ in most everything we do, and we want to fail forward. We want to take risks.
Love it. Love it. So, I hear this from people. So, because video's huge and you're saying, do these videos, what do I say? Oh, wait a minute, my hair's not okay. I don't have the right clothes on. This is me on video right here. This is that, that every few days I'll shave if I need to. Now, if I'm going to go meet a client, I will look at how they are, and I'll probably model what they're doing. But I'm hat, and this is just real. And so what do you suggest when they say, I don't know what to say, I don't look perfect, I don't, what do I do?
Well, since I coach women, I have to say that women do not think like you. Okay. Yeah. That's the first thing.
Perfect.
Yes, women do not think like you. So we do have, these thoughts in our heads that we have to show up a certain way and look a certain way. Mm-hmm. And what we want to do is we want to challenge those beliefs and then know that the person that's watching you may also be without makeup, with their hair, in a ponytail or whatever. So you want to relate to your client base and, like you said, model. And so, but when you're modeling, your clients are not only perhaps, being professional, but also they're casual too. And they likely have a family too, so they want to relate to you. So so that's what, so you're basically, exactly. I mean, when I'm a grandma, I am for sure having the pack on with a kid in the front, talking to coaching my clients, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, because people can relate to you, and that's the beauty of our business. And so it's just a matter of hearing yourself, this like talk in your head, and hearing that or feeling that fear, and then being like, bring it on. Bring it
Awesome.
on. Like it's all bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. Spot on. Absolutely. You're right, because people want to know who you are. That is, I don't know how many people have actually said, and after I do videos and things like that, said, dude, you're real. It's like, yeah.
Exactly. That's what they want. Yep.
Is it?
Yeah, the days of going to the banker and having to dress up, and the banker's dressed up, and there's this big formal, union. Those days are over. We want real people. We want vulnerability. That's what we want.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that the tech companies can't compete with, because they're not local, they're not real, and they're not going to send you a personalized message on Facebook, and they're not going to ask you to go have a cup of coffee.
Right. Yes. I believe in humans and vulnerability and loyalty. Yeah. So those things exist.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. This outstanding. Anything else that you'd like to leave the audience, whoever's watching, with before we sign off on this session?
I just wanted to say that women, I'm doing this for you, and I came into this to talk to you, and I just want you to know that whatever you're going through right now, it is solvable. Okay, there is another side. There is another way to look at it, and I just want to just give you that thought, just that idea that it is possible to snap out of whatever you're in right now. You need more sales, you're stuck, whatever it is possible to get out of that. And that's all I wanted to share, because that's why I'm here, is for women. And whatever limiting beliefs they're having right now, I want to let them know that it is possible to snap out of that.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Audrey, I am grateful, and I appreciate you. So how do they get in touch with you again, please?
You can reach me on my website, www.audreylawlesscoaching.com, or www.decided.me. It's all about making decisions, ladies.
Awesome. Go click the button down there and do decided.me and set up a session with Audrey. Go. Stop right now. Put pause. Go. Okay. Did you do it yet? Okay. So, Audrey, thank you so much. Outstanding. And I look forward to speaking a lot more, getting to know you better, and learning as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And likewise, thank you.